الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله خالق الوجود من العدم، وجاعل النور من الظلم، ومخرج الصبر من الألم، وملقي التوبة على الندم. فنشكره على المصائب كما نشكره على النعم، ونصلي على رسوله الأكرم ذي الشرف الأشم والنور الأتم والكتاب المحكم وكمال النبيين والخاتم، سيد ولد آدم، الذي بشر به عيسى ابن مريم ودعا لبعثته إبراهيم عليه السلام حين كان يرفع قواعد بيت الله المحرم. فصلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى أتباعه خير الأمم الذين بارك الله بهم كافة الناس، العرب منهم والعجم. فالحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا. والحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. والحمد لله الذي نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له، ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن محمدًا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله الله تعالى بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله، وكفى بالله شهيدا. فصلى الله عليه وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. ثم أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وإن شر الأمور محدثاتها، وإن كل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. يقول سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم بعد أن نقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون. اللهم اجعلنا من المتفكرين واللهم اجعلنا من الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر آمين يا رب العالمين. Today's khutbah, I've given a lot of thought to what I should be sharing with you, and I decided to keep something relevant to the season. Anywhere you go in the country, in the Muslim community nowadays, you'll find weddings taking place. It's wedding season, and we're trying to squeeze as many weddings in before Ramadan comes in, because Ramadan is pushing earlier and earlier, and people's summer vacations are being interrupted by the blessed month of Ramadan. So we're trying to get, everywhere you go, there's a nikah, or there's a walima, or there's one celebration or the other. So I'd like to start, first of all, by asking Allah Azza wa Jal to put blessings in all of those occasions, and that Allah Azza wa Jal brings families together and brings good marriages that will produce good families in the Muslim community, that will bring a bright future to the ummah here in the United States for all of us. Inshallah ta'ala, first of all. And second of all, in pretty much all of the wedding occasions, you'll find that, when they print cards and things like that, sometimes they're motivated to put some reminder, a hadith or an ayah or something on the wedding cards. And this is the ayah that's pretty much on every wedding card. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. As a matter of fact, the khutbah today is divided into two parts. The first half of which I want to share with you some ta'ammulat, some reflections from this one particular ayah and the beauties that are hiding inside this ayah. And the second part, I want to just give some practical advice to newlyweds. And I know this may not apply to all of you, but the second part is actually, even in some respects, more important to me to share with you, because as I have traveled and I have spoken to so many within my own close circle of family and friends, but even outside of that, newlyweds in the Muslim community, just like any other community, are having a lot of trouble. They're having a lot of problems, and they are in need of advice. And sometimes they need advice that is professional. They need to go to a counselor, and they need that sort of really specialized circumstantial advice that you can't just give generally. But there are some general, basic, common sense bits of advice that are being ignored. And if one were to take some heed and some precaution to take care of those few things that are just common sense, then inshallah ta'ala I think there will be a lot more harmony in these families that are now coming together. And once again we pray that Allah bring harmony in all of our marriages. So Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, out of His miraculous signs. This is an unusual structure of the Arabic language. You don't begin with a preposition. Not in English and not in Arabic. And the purpose of starting with a preposition, there are a few things that are done in the Arabic language for this reason. The first benefit they say is at-tawqeed, to emphasize something. It is so important that even though it was going to be mentioned at the end, it's mentioned in the beginning. So instead of أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجِهِ مِنْ آيَاتِهِ is in the beginning تَوْكِيدًا لَهُ. These are some of the most important miracles of Allah. This is not something small. And so He begins the ayah with مِنْ آيَاتِهِ. So it's something that requires extra attention from the listener. Another benefit of putting these prepositional phrases in the beginning of a statement in the Arabic language is at-tashweeq. At-tashweeq actually means to create curiosity, to create anticipation in the ear of the listener. In other words, if I tell my children from the store, today, I bought, and I keep creating an anticipation, they're thinking he got something for us, there's a toy, and at the end of it I say, a wrench for my car. Then, it kills the surprise, but at least their eyes were bulging out as I was building up. So one of the functions of min ayatihi in the beginning is, as a matter of fact, tashweeq of the believer. In other words, the believer wants to know, what else is a great miracle of Allah? Tell me what it is. Min ayatihi. This is one of the other functions. There are others, but at least these two I wanted to highlight in this khutbah. This concept of tashweeq and of ta'jeel. And then of course there is at least one more that comes to mind that it should be shared, is al-ikhtisas. That there are many things that are creations of Allah and many things are miracles of Allah, but this one is special. He khassa bihi. He made this one particular. This one should not be overlooked by you because it has a special standing. Now what is that? An khalaqa lakum. The ayah will go word by word. One of His most incredible miraculous signs is that He created for you. Lakum, la alaykum. Lakum. La ma'akum. Lakum means a favor to you. He created something for you. Whatever He created in this ayah is a gift for you. It is not against you. It is not a problem. It is a gift. This requires some reflection. Allah Azza wa Jal has given us many gifts in life. But if those gifts are not properly used, they turn into curses. Those same things that are a gift can become a curse. And as a matter of fact, the ultimate gift of Allah Azza wa Jal is revelation, wahi, guidance. But if it is misused, if even wahi is misused, it's not going to testify for you on Judgment Day, it will testify against you on Judgment Day. Al-Qur'anu shahidun lak am alayk. The Qur'an is either a witness for you or it is against you. It was sent not as a curse. It wasn't sent to punish you. It wasn't sent so it could be used in trial against you. It was sent as a gift to you. But if you don't use it right, you don't give it its rights, then it'll stand against you. The same is true of all other things in life. A young man is given a nice new shiny car. A fast one too. Automatic, not automatic, manual, it's got to be faster. He gets a Beamer. It's a gift. It's beautiful. But that same car could be a curse if he's doing 100 on the highway, isn't it? It's the same gift, but it turns against him. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is teaching us in this ayah that things that, especially in marriage, sometimes there are problems, there are conflicts. But first and foremost, at its origin, it is not something that was put in place against you for you to have problems. It was put there for you. أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُمْ. Then again, min anfusikum, tashwiqan, from out of yourselves. Even if you don't say min anfusikum, the ayah is complete. You could just say khalaqa lakum azwajan. He created spouses for you. He says min anfusikum, from within yourselves. This, of course, the first interpretation of this part of the ayah means Adam alayhi salam, and from his rib, our mother Hawa salamun alayha. That's the first interpretation, that the female was created from within the male. She's a part of him. But also, there's another meaning to this. That yes, men and women are very different. They are very different. But in some sense, they share a lot with each other. They both have aspirations, they have feelings, they have expectations, they have hopes. And you have to respect that they are a human being like you. So just like you have expectations and hopes and aspirations, things that make you happy and things that make you upset, things that make you happy and things that make you upset, they have things that make them happy. They have things that make them upset. They're from within you. They're not some other creature. They're not some other creature. And this is important because this part of the ayah helps the husband relate to the feelings of the wife even if he or she you can't understand the other. Sometimes I can't understand why my wife is upset. There's no way for me to understand. I get a PhD in psychology, I will not understand why she's angry. You'll have to just give up at that point, but at least you have to respect. You have to, just because you can't understand it doesn't mean it's not legitimate. It doesn't mean that it's not legitimate. Min anfusikum. Then finally Allah Azza wa Jal mentions azwajan. And azwajan itself is such a beautiful word because it's not limited to marriage. The earth and the sun and the moon are zawjain. The night and the day are zawjain. The word zawj is not used only for husband and wife. The word zawj is, as a matter of fact, in Arabic used for anything that is incomplete without the other side. Anything that is by itself incomplete. And on the other side, when you have the other half, the other zawj, it becomes whole. One only fulfills half a purpose, the other goes on to fulfill its full function. What are we learning? That spouses were given. Allah created the institution of marriage because without it, the purpose of humanity, the thing for which you were created to do some pretty amazing things in life, you won't be able to meet your potential until your other half is there. There's a reason that the Prophet ﷺ considers it half of our deen. Because we ourselves are half until we get married. And until we have that other half that gives us tranquility and peace. I'll give you an example just to bring this home. Now I don't want to talk entirely in theory. Even in the first half of this khutbah which is intended to be theory. You have a young man who decides he wants to be a da'i. He wants to, go and help people. He seems like youth gather around him, so he wants to give khutbah and he wants to give talks and he wants to start halaqat. And he starts doing it and he's getting very popular. And people are appreciating his work, but he's not married. And then he starts getting invitations to go this place or that place. And every week he's giving a program at his MSA. And he's doing all of this, but he's not married. And then these girls from the MSA, good girls, hijabi girls, with jilbab on and everything, they start coming up and asking him all kinds of questions. And he spends a little extra time answering their questions. And in his mind, he doesn't realize that he thinks he's doing the work of deen. This is da'wah, brother. It's what I'm doing. But he doesn't realize he's putting himself and them in so much fitna without realizing it. Deep down inside, he gets a little kick out of it every time a sister asks a question. He's got to fight that. And one of the ways to fight that is to keep himself in check and make sure his wife is in the audience every time. Get married and have her, and you take a look at her and you just kind of watch yourself, So what I'm telling you is, even if you want to do work of deen, there are obstacles in your path, and one of them is, if you're not married, you're not going to be able to do what you fully need to do. And that's just one example of many. Of many. And that's just, how to deal with society and fight with fitna. But even personally, to have the peace, to have tranquility, to have balance in your life, it's important. A lot of young brothers nowadays, I don't need to get married right now. Really? I don't need to get, you're 27 years old. What do you mean you don't need to get married right now? Something is seriously wrong with that picture. When you can be 27 years old and you can say, I don't need to get married, there's something very unhealthy going on in your life that I don't know about and I don't want to guess. But it shouldn't be there. It should not be there. Because the normal state of being for you is you should want to be married. You should want to get married. And I'm not putting 27 as the standard age. But at the same time, I'm not putting 17 as a standard age either. Young brother, at the moment he hits puberty, he starts telling his parents, Mom, I'm in 9th grade now. I'm ready. No, you're not. Calm down. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. So now we get to the next part of this beautiful ayah. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. Very heavy words, subhanAllah. Its English translation suggests so you can find tranquility in them. So you can find peace in them. So you can relax with them. The Arabic word sukun or taskunu, as-sukunu ضد الحركة. It means the lack of motion. The idea, the image suggested is life is disturbing. Life is full of hustle. Life is full of getting stuck in traffic and being overwhelmed by a project at work. Life is full of business. Life is full of financial troubles. Submission of IRS paperwork, all kinds of stuff you got to do all day. Once you get home, all of it stops and you can relax. So you know what? And this is from Allah's incredible miracles. You know what that means to me personally? This is not a tafsir. This is what the ayah means to me personally. The cell phone has to shut off when I walk into the house. It has to turn off. At least airplane mode it. Not with Wi-Fi on, with off. Just turn it off. Because you're here for all of that stuff to now stop. Don't sit at the dinner table texting. Don't do that. Don't check your email every 5 minutes. You're not that important. It's okay. This is more important now. Put that stuff away. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. So you cannot be moving around anymore. You're not disturbed anymore. They say هَدَأَ بَعْدَ التَّحَرُّكِ. They say he came, sakana يعني هدأ. Someone who's done sukoon is someone who calmed down after he was all disturbed, busy, overly busy. They say also sakana الرجل. I'm talking to the men now for a moment. sakana الرجل إذا سكت. They say a man has sukoon when he's quiet. The meaning of sakana is to be quiet, to find peace and quiet at home. Our arguments, the loudest volume our mouth ever reaches, our throats ever reach is when we get home. We're supposed to find a time where you can be at peace. Speak calmly, almost as though there's silence in the house. There's not too much to talk about. And when there is, it's calming. It's not disturbing. It's not complaints. It's not agitating. Subhanallah. So sakana and sakata, the same, similar meaning. Then, one of the most beautiful things I found about the word sakan in the Arabic language, Ibn al-Arabi comments on this. There's an ayah in the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, لَهُ مَا سَكَنَ فِي اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ. Strange usage of the word, لَهُ مَا سَكَنَ فِي اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ. That everything in the night is still, whatever's still in the night, He owns it. And in the day, whatever moves, some say, وَمَا تَحَرَّكَ فِي النَّهَارِ. But he interpreted it to mean, وَلَهُ مَا حَلَّ فِي اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ. Whatever is in its natural state, it is unleashed. It is calm. It is halal, literally halal. Halla, fil layli wal nahar. Whatever is the way it's supposed to be. An animal is, during the day, an animal is on guard. But once the animal finally goes into his cave, it relaxes. It can be itself. It doesn't have to be on guard, worried about other things. What happens to us when we have sukoon with our spouses? We can be ourselves. We don't have to pretend to be someone else. We don't have to be on guard. We don't have to be formal. You can have this informal relationship, and in that meaning itself, there's so much for us, for married couples to learn, especially newlyweds, because newlyweds take a long time to get used to each other. They still try to show each other their best side, not their real side, right? You have to learn to be honest with you. This person is going to be your family for the rest of your life. They will know all of your dirty secrets. Yes, it'll take a time to get used to each other and to get over each other's quirks. But you know what? You have to be honest, and you have to be yourself. And this is part of the meaning of sakana. You have to be who you are, who you genuinely are, and have to become comfortable with one another. One of the most interesting Interesting things I find about this word, subhanallah. It's actually even used in a dua. Allahumma anzil alayna fi ardina sakanaha. Allah send upon this earth of ours its sakan. Which actually in that hadith and that dua that Ibn Manzur even cites in meaning of this word in Lisan al-Arab, he cites it in the meaning of rain. Meaning the earth is incomplete, it needs life. And what gives life to the earth is the rain. What will give life to your marriage is sukoon. It needs that sukoon that the husband and the wife have to have with each other. So this is just some things about litaskunu ilayha, how we're supposed to find tranquility and peace and harmony with our spouse, husband with the wife and wife with the husband. But Allah didn't stop there. And before I go on that He didn't stop there, there's no ikhtisas here. Meaning this is not the only purpose of marriage. The purpose of marriage is not only that you find peace. It is one of its many functions according to the language of the ayah. You know why that's important? Because once you have peace, now you can be productive and do other things. Allah expects from you and me to serve His deen, to be productive members of society, to do good things in the world. We're not going to be able to do them if we ourselves are disturbed. So Allah gives us this sukoon in our married lives so we can be of benefit outside of our married lives. So we can do good things in life. This is what we're learning here. It's not that you get married and now your deen is complete, you just sit home and relax with your wife and just sit back and sit on a couch and talk. You're fulfilling the ayah. No, He found you that peace so you can be at work in other things. So you can have a busy day. You can do good things in life, subhanallah. Then He says, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ, and there's an iltifat in the ayah in which now He turns to both husband and wife. The first part of the ayah, He was just speaking one to the other, one to the other. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. One of the spouses was in the third person. But now in the next half of the ayah, He is addressing both spouses, is counseling from Allah. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And He put between you intense love, mawaddah. Mawaddah. Intense love. You have this overwhelming love for your spouse. And now I have to switch over to advice before I finish the ayah. Advice for young couples, especially the guys. You just got married. You have this intense love for your wife. You're jealous over everything for your wife. You don't even want her to talk to her mother for 5 minutes because you want her to talk to you all the time. You get annoyed when you have to go visit her family because you just want to be with her and get away. And all of that. And these are manifestations of love, but she doesn't see it that way. It's a big transition for her. She just went from living her entire life in one family and all of a sudden she's your wife. So when you become, because of your intense love of her, become overly, possessive, and you get agitated that she's spending even a little bit of time with her family, and you say, why do you have to go for that long? Why do you have to talk to your sister for that long? Why do you have to do this for that long? She starts thinking, why does he hate my family? I didn't sign up for this. Do I have to now not love my family anymore? I don't even know this guy. I know him for 2 days. And he's getting all weird on me. For you, it's love. For her, it's weird. You have to understand that. You have to take it easy. You have to take it easy. And that's why the next word is so powerful. Mawaddatan wa rahma. And He put rahma, courtesy, care. Someone taking care of someone with great caution has rahmah for them. So if it's only mawaddah, it can come out in strange ways. Intense love can get weird. Your mother loves you intensely, and that's why when she gets angry, she really gets angry. It's out of her love. Intense love has no restraints. But rahmah puts a restraint on that love. So you have to just consider what she's going through, the transition that's happening for her, and don't say she doesn't feel about me like I feel about her. Yes, because she's a woman. Her emotions are different. And she's dealing with a lot. She's dealing with abandonment of those who loved her entire life. But before this khutbah ends, I have to talk to my sister too. The one who just got married. Sister, you just got married. It's not the same anymore. I know you love your mother, but you don't have to talk to her for 2 hours every day. Stop. You're married now. You have to learn to let go. You won't be able to let go altogether immediately, but you have to start. And you have to stop saying, I have to go visit my mom every day. I have to talk to my sister for 2 hours every single day. You never talked to her for 2 hours when you weren't married, so calm down. Stop being weird. Stop doing this to your husband. You're causing him unnecessary stress. This is the beginning of your relationship. You're ruining it. And you're creating stress and tension in the beginning of your marriage that is going to hurt you for the rest of your lives because you're starting from a scar. My advice to both of you that just got married is get away from your families for a couple of weeks. Just go away. Call it a honeymoon, call it a honey sun, whatever you call it. Just get away. Go somewhere. If you can't afford to go to Hawaii, just go to like Greenbelt, Maryland or something. Just go somewhere else, okay? Don't go far away, but be away from your family and get to know each other. Get to know each other. And stop being angry at each other about how you treated the other's family. You went to my mother invited you for dinner and you didn't even talk to my brother. And you didn't even smile. And you did, stop. Just know each other first. You don't have to love your in-laws. Yes, I said it. You don't have to love your in-laws. You just have to respect them. You just have to respect them. But you have to learn to be a family first. There are too many young couples. They come and say, we're having trouble because he said this to my family, or he doesn't do this for my family, and she says that about him, he says that about her. Oh my God. When are you going to realize you're a family? Stop saying my family and your family. Stop. It's done. You guys are married now. Let them be married. And now it's final. I could talk about this for hours, but my time is up. But I want to give you just a couple of things. Now to the families. Sister, get used to the fact that you're married and learn to love your husband. And learn to wean off of the time you spend with your family. And don't go overburdened spending too much time with your family. At the same time, guys, take it easy. You got her for life. Trust me. Just trust me. Just relax. Don't overdo it. You have all the time in the world. Okay? But now the families, leave them alone. Don't invite them every other day to your house. Don't put those social expectations on them constantly. Take it easy on them. Let them get accustomed to each other. You're creating unnecessary tension on both of them, unnecessary pressure on both of them. That is going to unfold in terrible ways. You guys, we have these marriages and the girl's going to college or she's working and the guy's working and they have a nikah on a weekend and they both go back to their cities and start working again. And they talk to each other or text each other once in a while. SubhanAllah, it is no surprise that a month later, 2 months later, she says it's not working out. He says, I don't like her. It's not because you don't like her or it's not working out. Because you haven't spent any time with each other. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, guys, it's in the ayah, so you live with them. سَكَنَ بِالْمَقَامِ يعني أَقَامَ لِمُدَّةٍ طَوِيلَةٍ. It means the word سَكَنَ إِلَيْهَا, so you live with them. I gave you a spouse to live with. Not to have a long-distance relationship. Now, some of you might have constraints. Then at least go out of your way to make the time. If you have free time, spend it with your wife. If you don't get to spend all your time with her, then don't spend that time with your cousin or your brother or your friend or go to a conference. Go with her. Go somewhere else. And you don't have to go to all the Islamic programs in the world. Spend time with your wife if you don't get to spend time with your wife. You need to save your marriage first. You need to work on that first. And the family and friends have to be supportive in this. They have to help in this. These things seem small, but wallahi, I'm telling you, our young couples are hurting. They don't know these very basics. These are common sense things, but they don't know them. They're not applying them. So I pray that Allah Azza wa Jal allows our young couples to truly become healthy, married couples that have love for each other and don't fall into the trap of shaitan that says, actually after 3 months I found out that I don't love him. Or after 4 months I found out that I don't love her. You loving and not loving wasn't up to you. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. He put love there, not you. You didn't fall in love. He put the love between spouses. So you did something wrong. Remember I told you in the beginning, Allah gives gifts and we corrupt them? You did something wrong. The love was always there because it wasn't yours to begin with. It was a gift from Allah. You didn't show rahmah and the mawaddah left. That's what happened. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ. In all of that, there are a lot of things to think about, a lot of lessons, a lot of miracles. لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. For a nation that thinks deeply. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us a nation of deep thought. May Allah Azza wa Jal help all of us in our marriages. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless the newlyweds and give them family lives that are balanced and healthy. May Allah produce from their offsprings leaders for this ummah and du'at to Islam. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim wa nafa'ni wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikr al-Hakim. الحمد لله وكفى، والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى، خصوصا على أفضلهم وخاتم النبيين محمد الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. يقول الله عز وجل في كتابه الكريم بعد نقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. عباد الله رحمكم الله، اتقوا الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر، ولذكر الله أكبر، والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقم الصلاة إن الصلاة